Hi everyone, this is Joanna. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Today the video is dedicated to those cute gnomes which I made with my leftover yarn from the pumpkins. If you have not seen my pumpkin video, the crochet pumpkins, you guys need to check that out. But this is it. I made these with the leftover yarn. They came out fabulous and you are not gonna believe how quickly they come together. So you can use either a toilet paper roll or the paper towels roll, whichever one. And here I'm cutting strips into 1-inch strips, but they were too thick, so I actually went in and I adjusted the width of them, and I think 3/4 work much better. So you're just gonna go and slice those. Now this little plastic is 6 inches by 7 inches, and I need 12-inch long pieces of yarn. So basically I'm just gonna go, and since I'm making so many of those little guys, I'm just gonna go crazy and just roll it. For one gnome you're going to need 30 pieces of 12-inch yarn, and when you're going to cut this just once, you're going to get a 12-inch pieces of yarn. So that was very easy, and you can do it with different colors. Here I'm doing it with gray, but you can see I'm going to be using the white, and I'm going to be using all kinds of different colors, and red as well, and different shade of gray. So there you have it. I'm going to take the strip that I cut out from my toilet paper roll, and this is my 12-inch long piece of yarn, and I'm just going to loop it. Okay, it's a very simple loop, and this is what we're going to do going around. And you're going to need at least 30 pieces of yarn, and this is the 4-weight yarn. So of course it depends. If you're using thinner yarn, you may need more than 30 pieces, but that's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna do those little loop and scoot it over, and you're just going to go and continue on around. And this is an amazing project when you're watching TV. It just goes really quick, and you can make a bunch of gnomes, in one sitting. Okay, so here we go again, the little loop, and you squish it to the side. You want to make sure that it's nice and tight, no cardboard is sticking through the yarn, but there is really not much to it. So you can do it really anywhere. It's a very simple project, but you're just going to continue on until the rim of the hat of our gnome is done. And this, I have one more to put in here. You can see that a little bit of cardboard is still sticking out, so I'm just going to squeeze that one in. I'm going to push the other yarn to the side to make sure that I fit that one last yarn in there, and in theory you should be completely covered. In theory, you can see that a little bit was sticking out there. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this yarn and we're going to push it through the middle to the other side. Now when you do that, you're going to create this really nice rim for the hat of the gnome. So it's very nice, it's smooth, and it just looks really pretty. You don't have to do that, but it really does help when you do it. It just looks so much prettier. And forgive my yarn, I know that it's not very straight, but that's because I'm reusing it from a project, my pumpkin project. So there you have it. We're just going to twist a little knot on top, creating a hat, and you really want to make sure that you squish it. Make it really super tight, because that's gonna really shape your hat at this point. And there you have it. Now you're going, which I didn't show you guys, well, I'm gonna show you guys in a minute after I trim it. After we give it a little trim, I put a little cotton ball inside the hat, and you're not going to see it here because I decided that I'm not going to show it to you guys. So anyways, at this point there is a little cotton ball already sitting inside the hat. You will see it momentarily. So now let's grab a needle, yarn, thread the yarn through the needle, and let's make 2 to 3 knots at the end of the yarn. We just don't want it to like pull through when we're going to be making the loop. See that little cotton ball there? Anyways, you take the needle and you're going to push it through so it comes out through the pom-pom. All right, now we don't want it to pull through, so that knot that you created, you're going to hold on to it. All right, and make sure that your thread comes out on the other side. We're just making the loop for the ornament, so we're going to have something that we can hang it with. All right, I'm sure that there are a lot of different ways of doing it, but I thought that this was the most easy way to do it. So once you have it through and you can see your knots have not gone through, you want to keep them right there. You're going to go back in, and when you're going back in, you want to make sure that you know where that loop is. Okay, so what I would do is I would just put my fingers in there as I was pulling the needle through, so that I knew that my loop would not disappear on me. So you can see the loop is right there, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to put some knots on the other side of the yarn. Again, 2 to 3 of them are plenty. And after you're done with that, you are going to have a place to, or a way to hang your ornament from the Christmas tree. Okay, well, there you have it, and you can just, we're going to be able to hang it just like that. So right now I put another cotton ball inside the hat to make it even squishier, and I decided that I was not going to show it to you guys, but here are the different variations. I would put red and white, I would put gray and white, and then you can see that I did just the grays and the reds. I mean, you can just go absolutely crazy with the colors here. So now let's continue with the beard. So I was using 12-inch strips for the hat. Now I'm going to use the other side, which is longer, which is 7 inches long, and I'm just going to start reeling the yarn. Now I'm going to do I'm gonna go around that thing 30 times for each gnome. Okay, so that's gonna be the beard 30 times. If you want it even fluffier, you're gonna have to go more, but that's 30 times on something that is 7 inches long. And now, before I do any kind of cutting or anything, and I've seen people actually use rubber bands to do that, you have to squish it in the middle. So I'm going to tie it with another piece of yarn, and it works for me fine. But like I said, I have seen people use rubber bands to put in the middle to give it a tight squish, but you really want to make sure that that squish is like, you really need to make it super tight. And once you have the middle tied, now you can go and trim, or not trim, actually cut all the loops. So at this point you probably start seeing how this whole gnome beard is coming together. You can kind of see how it's going to look on the gnome, and you can either trim it now or trim it later. I opted to, for trimming it later, but this is how this is going to go on. So just make sure that you put another cotton ball in the hat, because you want it to be really, really puffy. And now we're just going to take our beard and also make sure that there's the center of the where we tied it, so where his nose is going to go. His nose is going to go in the center where we tied the knot, and there's not much to it. We're just going to put glue gun to the yarn and put the hat on, and make sure that it sticks really, really well. And now it is entirely up to you if you want to do something to the yarn, if you want to maybe shape it or trim it, make it look pretty, or if you maybe you just want like a little rough looking no no, but you know, that little bit of glue gun totally works. And now the last part of the whole thing is to add the nose to the gnome, which for me it's a wooden bead. I wish that my wood beads were a little bit bigger, because I do think that a bigger nose would have been better. And I added a little bit additional glue here and there. Speaking about the nose, the wooden mushrooms that Dollar Tree carries, I put that on one of the gnome, and I'm going to show you guys in a minute, and it's much bigger and looks great. But look how quickly this came together. I'm able to knock out like 8 of them in one night. They are just so much fun to make, and they're just so much fun to give as well. And I cannot imagine that someone would not like them. They're just so funny. And right here you can see that the red gnome has a bigger nose. I think it looks just way better. If I find bigger beads, I may have to replace the noses, because I really love the bigger nose. Well, my friends, what do you think about the project? I thought it was really awesome, especially because I was using leftover yarn. With that being said, till next time. Ta-ta!